Remember in my video on Bulk Slash I said that there aren't enough games with mechs blowing up stuff? Well, if you're like me, then you should take a look at Virtual On Cyber Troopers for the Sega Saturn because this features more mechs blowing each other up. What happened to games with mechs in them? That needs to come back. Anyone else remember Phantom Crash for the Xbox? That was great. Anyway, Virtual On. The story is that in a dystopian future, corporate syndicates control the Earth. One of these corporate syndicates uses technology to create robots known as virtuaroids. The central computer at a test complex becomes self-aware and activates the sun cannon with the intention of destroying civilization. The corporate syndicate decides to take control of the virtuaroids and use them to shut down the computer. But the story doesn't really play a big part in this game. We're here to play as robots. This is a port of an arcade game that was released in 1996. It was known for having these huge arcade machines with a twin-stick layout. It was cool, it made you feel like you were piloting these robots. This leads me onto the controls. There are two ways to play Virtual On. You can play with a Saturn controller or with another way, which I'll talk about towards the end of the video. You can move in different directions, rotate and jump, but dashing allows you to lock onto an enemy and fire towards them. It does take some time to get used to the controls, but once you've adjusted to them, then playing this becomes second nature. There are 3 playable modes: arcade, ranking and multiplayer. You have a replay option and an options mode as well. The arcade mode has 10 stages. It does get difficult from stage 3 onwards, but I found I can complete it in around 20 minutes or so. The ranking mode is similar to survival mode, where you fight enemies until you lose, or you can choose one enemy of your choice. You've got 8 virtuaroids to choose from, each with 3 weapons. The weapons do need to recharge when you use them, but some recharge faster than others. I have to say that each virtuaroid is completely different, not just in weapons and looks, but in playstyle as well. There are some which are geared towards getting close, while some aim to keep their opponent away with long-range weapons. I just want to mention how much I hate Dorcas. Apparently one of his weapons is a hammer, but I don't recall hammers being able to fly across the sky and act as some sort of homing beach volleyball. Seriously, this thing is so annoying and it does an absurd amount of damage. And then there is the final boss, Nirvan. Not only does Nirvana have an absurd amount of health, but the opportunities to deal the most damage when it changes colour is so small as you're running around to avoid being hit. Plus, some of the attacks deal so much damage it's crazy. The key gameplay element in Virtual On is speed. This is a very fast moving game, and moving is key to surviving. Standing still for too long just opens you up to being attacked. I think the virtuaroids look pretty great, and the unique designs for each one really stand out. I oddly like the continue screens, as you can see the virtuaroid being repaired. It looks really cool. The environments are okay, it's nothing too special, but I'm not paying too much attention to how the environment looks, to be honest. The best way to describe the music is 90s arcade at its finest. It's upbeat, fast and loud. It's perfect for this sort of game. My only major complaint is that the frame rate can drop when there is so much on screen. It does recover, but it's something to keep in mind. Is Virtual On worth playing? If you're looking for a game where you can just jump into and have a good time, then take a look into picking this up. Having multiplayer is also a nice touch and can be a blast to play with a friend. The Japanese version is pretty cheap. You can get it for around £10, or if you want the Western release, you'll be paying around £20. I own the Japanese version myself, and it's fully playable with English menus. There is another release of Virtual On for the Saturn which was designed for SegaNet. This only saw a Japanese release as far as I'm aware, so I'll have to look into that in the future if I'm able to get a copy. So I normally don't do this, but the next video will be about how I played Virtual On, and that video will be about the Sega Saturn Twin Stick. If you've never seen this before, then you are in for something special. Thanks for watching, I'll see you all next time, and stay safe out there.